I said we were going to start turning this test, which is pseudocode, into actual code to TDD a SwiftUI view, but it occurred to me that before we do, I should really introduce ViewInspector, the tool we need to do this. I explain in my book, iOS Unit Testing by Example, how to interact with UIKit. Specifically, I'm interested in tapping a button to trigger an action that we can observe. How do we do that with SwiftUI? Well, we use ViewInspector. This is the marvelous tool written by Alexei Naumov. If we go down and look at some of the use cases it provides right in the front page of the documentation, here's number one is find a specific view inside of a larger view. You want to, for example, find a button or find a piece of text. Whatever it is, there are different ways to do that. We can also read the state of those views. For example, here we can see what is the font that it's using by learning how to inspect it and dig down into its attributes. And then one more that I haven't used yet is getting the actual view out, and from the actual view, getting the view model, then querying that. That's pretty interesting. And finally, here's the example of tapping a button to trigger a side effect. Super important. It's also good to have a mental model of how ViewInspector works roughly. If you take a normal view, the Hello World example, it has a VStack, and inside of it, the image and a piece of text. We can't interact with those things directly from a test. So what ViewInspector does is you say, content view inspect, and you get an inspectable view. Inside that inspectable view, you will have an inspectable VStack. And inside of that inspectable VStack, there will be an inspectable image and an inspectable text. The actual type names are different, but that's the basic idea. And it's good to have that as a mental model so you know what you're working with. So let's add this. If I grab the GitHub address, we can add it as a package dependency by pasting it into the search field there and saying add package. Make sure it goes into the test target. And do a build for testing just to make sure everything is fine. Build succeeded. So now let's have a look. That looks good. And this will be an environment change, add ViewInspector. Okay, now for real. Come back next time and we'll start part 1 of turning this test into actual code.